What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 5. It's going to be the third and final game in the best of 3 going on between Vega Squadron and Power Rangers. Power Rangers crushed their way through Game 1. Vega Squadron crushed their way through Game 2. So hopefully no one's going to be crushing anyone here in Game 3 and we'll have a nice even game, but we'll just have to see. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by Danelie and Petty on stats. This game, man, I said it a couple times now, if it's a one-sided stomp fest, I'm just going to be really disappointed.
You're jinxing it, Mike. You gotta stop doing that. You have to be positive. Never say it, because saying it actually jinxes it.
But if I say it's even and then it's not, then I'm just gonna look foolish.
You have to be very, very positive. You gotta be very positive for both teams. Just let them know that you have their support, because you have to be a nice person like that. But yeah, I would love to see a very even game. I'm kind of worried though that we might be into a bit more of a passive game, because both teams, last game, whoever wins this wins the series. So I feel like both teams are going to play a little bit more safe this time. I would be a bit surprised if somebody actually goes on the aggression, just because both teams, they do have the potential to run aggressive lanes. I've got to admit it. First game, it was Power Rangers. Second game was Vega. So if they want to, they really could. We might see a couple of heroes that really... I'm going to stop now. We're going to say Vega's going to go on the aggression.
Speaking of jinxing it, jeez. don't jinx it, Mike. Don't jinx it. They're not going to play aggressive. There's no chance of that. Okay, so we saw Night Stalker being banned out in the previous 2 games, and Vega, they finally get themselves an NS now. There are teams that you should consider banning out Night Stalker, and there are teams that you just don't, and Vega Squadron, definitely a team that is comfortable running this hero. So with the Zeus from No One, if he has any sort of similar performance to the last game, then the Night Stalker, well, he may not be off to the best of starts, simply because Night Stalkers early on might be on the off lane, they might be completely shut down, especially up against a Centaur Venge opening from Power Rangers, but this is looking to be Vega Squadron trying to take hold of the momentum in this game very early on.
Yeah, I really like the Centaur pick. He's really fallen off in terms of popularity, and main reason, he's not really as great as some of the other off lanes that we typically see. He doesn't really scale too well in the late game. I guess the Stampede's nice if you really want to have a way to jump in on your enemies or have someone to just get out if completely necessary. He's got some decent burst. It doesn't scale very well, keep in mind. He's got the hoof stomp as well for a disable, and I guess if he builds up a lot of strength, then he can also benefit from the return. The only issue is that Centaur, he's so busy initiating that he just doesn't typically get that much farm, so you don't really see those really big fat Centaurs in the very late game. He's probably just going to be running a Blink Dagger, maybe Blade Mail, and that might be it. Or in a Force Staff as well, more or less, depending on if he can actually get it. But
maybe even a pipe this game?
Maybe a pipe as well, but teams don't like pipe. You should know this, Mike. There are
I know,
very
I'm
few
just
teams
saying,
that run
it's still
pipes.
an item in the game, unless they removed it. Have they removed it? I don't think so.
I feel like they should just remove pipe in general, or just rework pipe, because it's a very unpopular item. It's a great item, I think, but maybe they just have to rework it to make teams favor picking it up, I suppose.
Well, either way, Centaur War Runner, usually going to be one of those like, oh, well, they're going to have to go for Centaurs, that's fine. I think in this game it's actually going to be a lot better than others, mostly just because they're up against a Night Stalker, and Night Stalker thrives at being able to obviously get kills early on. And when you're trying to look for those kills, your Bane is going to be stuns. Eventual Spirit has 1, though if she gets silenced, she's most likely just going to die. Centaur, you can't easily kill him off ever, especially as a Night Stalker when you're very reliant on your physical right clicks. He's typically pretty tanky in that regard. So it's an anti-Night Stalker pick for Power Rangers, and it still does satisfy their criteria of initiation. Batrider would have been another possibility for Power Rangers since they picked up the Vengeful Spirit. They have access to that, but Batrider's a lot more vulnerable to the Night Stalker than is the Centaur War Runner. So I like how Power Rangers have already defensively oriented themselves to deal with this NS, and while other bands out, Storm Spirit, Rubik, and Shadow Fiend gonna all hit the bin.
Yeah, with this Centaur pick actually, Power Rangers, if they want to pick up any of those heroes that need help with initiation, so in particular heroes that have problems with gap closing, then those heroes all of a sudden become viable just because of the Centaur pick. So I feel like we're going to see we might see some unusual heroes next just because of the complementary Centaur pick in general, but we'll see for the moment. We're going to get a Witch Doctor pickup for Vega Squadron. They needed a little bit more damage for their support because this Zeus is definitely going to be run as a core, I think.
Probably.
I think.
They
It's
just
probably going to
did.
be a core. I feel like it's going to be a core Zeus. So they need a little bit of damage from the supports as well to really complement them. Because Night Stalker during the early game, he does some decent damage. But as the game goes late, if he doesn't get items, your Night Stalker is probably just going to be a walking fat creep. Maybe a silence creep, really. He doesn't really do too much. So they need to have a backup in case the Night Stalker fails. You've always got to have that in mind. You can run a draft and you can say, oh, this is a great hero. He's definitely going to snowball. All of a sudden, the hero just falls backwards. What do? You have to rely on your current draft that you have. So you have to have the carry to come in, probably participate in team fights. The supports in the mid has to really back up the hero that's particularly failed. So I like the Witch Doctor pick. Scarab Mage is still available if they want to go for some really big burst. Because we did see him in the first game. So it's not a hero to count out. But it would be a very squishy hero. And that means that Vega Squadron would have 3 very squishy heroes already and would be very vulnerable to a Centaur +1 combo. And probably going to be this Lina that will be roaming around with the Centaur.
Yeah, Lina getting a lot of love in this series. The Lancer, though, from Vega is going to be that late game backup. And, I mean, if you're going to have a late game plan, Phantom Lancer seems like a pretty darn good one. This is not going to be Vega going all-in aggressive. If they have opportunities, they're going to take them, obviously. But really, this Night Stalker and Zeus, their goal is to buy space for the Lancer, very similar to the last game, with the exception being swap Night Stalker out for Clockwork, and more or less you have the similar game plan. So Power Rangers, they know what they're up against. Maybe they don't want to run that Cheshire Cat Spirit Breaker again, although I am pretty sure that he's going to be running that Centaur War Runner. They have already some good AoE to deal with this Phantom Lancer, but do they have actually any tools at turning around the aggression? They're going to be on the defensive most of the time. So who are they defending for? They have to actually get some late game of their own, and versus Phantom Lancer, it's hard to find heroes that are really great at man-fighting the hero unless they have some sort of cleave or something like that. But you don't really want to grab a Battle Fury hero, mostly Anti-Mage, I think, up against a Night Stalker. It just doesn't get fun.
The Magnus is still available. Power Rangers did run it last game to synergize with the PA in hopes to combat the Phantom Lancer, but it didn't quite work out. But if they want to, they could try and run it again, but never mind. Battle Fury hero in the Anti-Mage.
Alright, so even though Anti-Mage is going to be going up against both the Night Stalker and Witch Doctor, heroes that he really can't resist properly, should he get off to a decent early game start. Doesn't even have to be good, just has to be decent. Gets a Battle Fury, then the man fighting with the Phantom Lancer is going to be possible. But that's all it is. Like, Anti-Mage has to get a lot more net worth than the Lancer if he's going to be truly effective. As Phantom Lancer, once he creates the illusions, should be tanky enough for the most part to get ahead of that man fight with the Anti-Mages. Mana Break, not the most effective when you don't exactly know who you're supposed to be hitting. So late game, Anti-Mage versus Phantom Lancer, and, well, Power Rangers, their draft is looking pretty old, actually. Like, this is a several-year-old draft.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only hero that you would really want to mana void on the side of Vega Squadron is probably going to be the Zeus. Night Stalker going to have a pitiful amount of mana. Maybe if the Witch Doctor grabs an Ags, and maybe he'll be worthy of the mana break, but there's not really too much that you want to use the AM ulti. It's pretty expensive in terms of cost, I suppose, for the AM, because he doesn't have the greatest mana pool, so I feel like Anti-Mage is not really going to be grabbing kills with the ult. He is just going to be there after he's farmed up all his items and suddenly become relevant. I'm going to be honest, last game when we saw Pache on the Phantom Lancer with the Mask of Madness, I really didn't think that worked out. The Mask of Madness, I guess it was just a predominant farming item. It didn't help him fight at all. But it gave him a lot of
the point,
like farming potential,
He was just jungling the entire time, and then Mask of Madness gets very safe value. You get lifesteal, you get clearing, and you're happy. If he could, I mean, if he's going to feel safe enough to get that, or to go for that same strategy in this game, the late game Phantom Lancer investment build, then it's going to be fine. Like, I think even though it didn't help him in the fight, it wasn't supposed to necessarily, but yeah, most of the time it usually does help more actively in the fights. Like, if you look at Juggernaut or whatever, he always has that Mask of Madness turned on. Lancer probably shouldn't. But we're at the 5th pick now. AA going to be the ban out by the Power Rangers side. Vega going to kick out the Mag. Definitely scared about that empowered Anti-Mage. Definitely scared about that extra cleave. But Power Rangers, they, well, just ran the support Lina twice, so most likely we're going to see that again. They're looking for their mid lane now, going up against a Zeus. So it's going to be, once again, a little bit difficult because you're up against a Night Stalker. Maybe they just want to out-tank the Vega Squadron side and grab something safe like a Viper.
Yeah, Viper's actually going to be a decent pickup, actually, just because they'll give him a mech holder as well. Very tanky frontliner, damage over time, so it'll be really good to cancel out the Blink Dagger, which will inevitably come up on the Zeus. So Viper would be an alright pickup. We could always talk about the long forgotten Razor. He still exists, ladies and gentlemen, but we just don't see him that much anymore. He's been very well forgotten as a hero in general. But the Vega Squadron, they pick up the Earthshaker.
Well,
So most likely going to be a support Earthshaker, core Night Stalker. So it's not going to be position for Night Stalker.
yeah, so they're gonna give the Night Stalker a little bit of farm, in theory, a little bit of farm. In the offlane, Night Stalker doesn't really do that hot, unfortunately. Just going up against Anti-Mage, that in and of itself isn't really a great lane matchup for the NS. His mana's not gonna last for very long, but Shaker's the last pick for Vega, pretty darn safe. It's great when you hear the Stampede, you just throw out a fissure and then you try to run away, and usually you'll get enough time for some of your allies to escape. For Power Rangers, though, it's not going to be a mid lane hero for them. They're going to put the Lina in a core role this time and grab an Enigma. This is pretty interesting because Night Stalkers usually roam around really aggressively, and Enigmas just want to be farming, so that's not really a great recipe there, but I guess it's another pretty decent tool to the PL. I don't know if I like this Enigma pick.
Well, we've seen Power Rangers make things work, so all of a sudden we might actually have this Enigma dominating the charts, but who knows? I feel like this Enigma, they just want him in the jungle to farm up that really quick mechanism, and then all of a sudden they can fight 4v5 up against Vega, or essentially 4v4, because the PL's never really going to participate in the team fights, if anything. So if you look at this in a 4v4 perspective, I kind of like Power Rangers, so long as the black hole is going to be off cooldown, and as long as they have the Laguna Blade, which should be online every time as well. They do have the superior initiating tools with the Stampede. Stampede's going to help them get into the fights, help them retreat if anything goes wrong. They'll have the swap available if anything goes wrong, or if they need to have the extra pullback, I suppose, if someone's getting away. So I feel like Power Rangers, they've got a solid draft. They just have to try and survive the laning phase and also survive the first wave of ganks coming out from Mag, which should come out the first night time, or maybe even the second night if he wants to be a little bit more greedy and get some more items before he actually starts roaming around.
And I think the Enigma is also a little bit of a respect pick towards the Phantom Lancer. It will allow Power Rangers to push a lot more, and if they are able to pressure the Phantom Lancer's base just a little bit, then they'll restrict his farm, and they'll eventually have a Black Hole and Midnight Pulse to deal with him in a much grander scale. But we're in Game 3, guys, and apparently Night Stalker is getting a lot of love. Thank you, Vega, for help tipping the stats in the Night Stalker's favor, but they're going to be playing the Night Stalker on Mag. Seamus Slayer is going to be on the Earthshaker. We got Quay on the Witch Doctor, no one on the Zeus. They're going to run to Ditchy. He has Blink level 1, though, so there's really no chance for him dying right now. But unfortunately, he will not get the bounty rune. It's this time both bounties secured by Vega, and Pashibashio on the Lancer is going to claim the one on the South River.
Yeah, so have we introduced the teams actually, Mike? Who would you like to introduce today?
I just did Vega. You could
oh,
do
you did?
Power Rangers,
You did
yeah.
Vega, I'm sorry.
I was really subtle about it.
Oh, okay then. So playing on the side of Power Rangers, on the Dire side, in the off lane, we're going to have Cheshire Cat rocking that Centaur War Runner. He had a very good first game, very rough second game. Let's see if he can make a comeback in this third game of the series. In the middle lane, we're going to have Sushlo. He had a very rough mag game last game. So we'll see how he actually turns out with this Lina. He has a lot of potential to run this Lina very aggressively, depending on whether he's going to go for Blink or Yules first. Probably going to go for Yules, so she has some constant mana pool and also have the setup for her stun. Up top, though, in our defensive dual lane, really, we have Ditya on our anti-mage. Jodam going to be protecting him on the Vengeful Spirit. And lastly, a very greedy Enigma in the jungle. We're going to be played by J4.
And this is not what J4 wants to see, Mag on the off lane. If Mag gets a decent time, and it looks like in a 2v2 lane the Night Stalker will, it's going to be a lot easier for Vega to rotate that Night Stalker in and just chase that Enigma down. If the Enigma doesn't have a full Eidolon army, then there's really no chance that he escapes from a Night Stalker who's getting any sort of levels. And, well, Ditchy isn't quite yet at that level 2 mark, so he doesn't have mana break, but once he does, Mag is going to have a much worse time in this lane, but really there's no kill potential here from either side. Night Stalker is really, really tanky. Unless they get some sick body blocking, they're going to struggle to kill him off. And Seema the Slayer, his only kills onto Jodam. If they get the Fission Block, they might get him, and they do. He's now forced to run up to the north. He has a couple of tangos to chew through, but that's still free regeneration out. They have one more Void, but Magic Missile is going to slow that down. Ditchy doing what he can, but an Anti-Mage without Mana Break right now is not doing that much, and Jodam is going to be one of the only real casualties on this top lane, or only real possible casualties up on this top lane.
Yeah, that's already going to be the Salve forced out, but if anything, I'd be pretty happy if I was Power Rangers to not lose that Vengeful Spirit. He played very calm and collected. He didn't really panic. He just ran up, cut a tree, and he was pretty much home free. So good stuff there from Jodam. Although, let's take a look at the other lane so far. This top lane, we're going to see constant back and forth aggression, but like you said, we're probably not going to see kills. In the middle lane, we're actually going to have the Lina a little bit behind by the Zeus, and he is actually particularly low, so Sasha, got to be very careful. He did go for the magic stick, so he will be able to actually regen after the constant spamming from no one, but it's going to come to a point where he is probably going to fall down eventually. He is a very squishy hero, very slow as well. I think he's slower than the Zeus in general, but actually Fissure going to connect onto Sachlo, but unfortunately I don't think there's going to be any follow-up. No one's going to chase him up. There's going to be one Bolt. There's even going to be a Arc Lightning as well. Well, we're going to have the Enigma rotate just to protect Sachlo there for a little bit longer, and I think he's hung around a little bit too long, though no one taking a significant amount of damage. Going to go up again a little bit more, and actually Sachlo being chased up by an Earthshaker, but first blood can be secured by J4. And we have Seema still chasing after Sachlo, and he's still alive, surprisingly enough. There's even going to be a Malefice to keep him away. Stun actually going to connect Seema. He's overextended, and he's going to give his life away. Oh my goodness, calm and collected plays by Power Rangers. Great stuff coming out from J4 as well as Sachlo. I had too much saliva.
Okay. Well, I mean, Vega, they also had too much adrenaline, apparently, so we have some real issues going on with everyone's chemical levels today, but yeah, that's the type of play that Vega should be making later in the game. They saw the Lina, they had Zeus there, and they're thinking, oh, we have First Blood, and First Blood on Zeus is really, really good. Until they give away 2 kills to the Power Rangers side. Shaker chasing for that kill. After you already give up First Blood, that's what you have to do because there's no real escape from the Shaker, so you know you're going to die. You might as well try to get a kill in the meantime, but really without the Night Stalker there, without like the Witch Doctor there either, going for that kill and running into the Enigma by happenstance at the worst possible time when the Enigma has his full Eidolon army, that was incredibly, incredibly greedy coming out from the Vega side, and Power Rangers, they get sufficiently rewarded. It's 1-0-1 on the Enigma and Lina both. And now a level 5 on this Lina, though she was a little bit behind the Zeus before that actually happened, she's going to be pulling ahead. Getting a faster level 6 means that she can get kills a lot sooner, especially if she has any sort of help from a hasted Centaur. He's not really going to find an angle in, however. It is also first nighttime phase, and Night Stalker is level 5. That's where you want to be most of the time as a Night Stalker in your first nighttime phase. Problem being, again, Vengeful Spirit's the only easy kill up on the top lane.
Yeah, Vega actually scouted out the Centaur, picking up the Haste Rune there, so that's why no one was actually hanging back quite far. So, good stuff for no one. Not playing greedy, he knows the Centaur was going to be there, and he would have been a very easy pick, especially with the initiation that Cheshire Cat would have provided for Sachlo. So, back in lane, Cheshire Cat going to go back into his lane as well. He's not getting anything. He's got 5 CS, he's been zoned out for a long time, but he is still level 4, so it's not too bad here for Cheshire Cat. He's pretty much a little bit behind compared to Pache, but he's getting what he needs. He just needs levels, and he just needs that level 6. Actually, he's going to be jumped on here by Quay as well as Pache, and actually Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage. He wants to try and go for a hoof stomp onto Quay. He does get it. Double edge. He's going to throw it. He won't, but, well, there's a TPN from Sachlo, and he will get a kill onto the Witch Doctor, but unfortunately Cheshire Cat dies in the back lines right next to the tower by the Phantom Lancer.
One more Lance out, and Lance is actually a pretty decent nuke. I mean, it is on the lower end of damage, but the additional slow and the illusion damage, though low, it does add up. And getting a kill on the Centaur, certainly very nice for Vega. I like how the Witch Doctor built in this lane. The Paralyzing Cask only at level 1, no guarantee of it bouncing. You might as well get the guaranteed damage with the Maledict if you know you're going to be going up against one target. So it's nice for them to get that kill, but similarly it's nice for Shotzo to get that return kill. Doesn't have enough mana for Laguna Blade, now he's going to be punished because of the Cask. Not going to bounce, but it will of course land. Now the Doppelganger to dodge the LSA, and Lina will just die to the Maledict. At the same time, Zeus getting a free kill on the Enigma. That was I want to say a completely blind Thunder God's Wrath, maybe an attempt to steal a kill in the bottom lane perhaps, but either way, no one is going to get a kill and assist from using that first ultimate. So suddenly 3-3, and that aggressive dive from the Vega side, not really looking like it punished them enough.
Mike, you say a lot of the times that the Zeus is chaos. This is an organized team,
Hey,
Mike. There's no such thing as the chaos.
They're out of control.
This is an organized kill.
They did not organize that. We saw it before. We've already seen no one deliberately trying to steal kills, and I'm gonna call him out because of it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's happening, and it only happens with Zeus players.
It's not a kill stealer. It's a kill secure. Okay, so it's an organized kill. It's a kill secure.
With anyone else but Zeus, it's a kill secure, but with Zeus, it's a kill steal. That's the way it works.
For example, if we're in a zombie apocalypse, would you not double tap a zombie just to be sure that it's dead?
Of course not. One shot and it's dead.
Why
Double
would
tapping
you
wastes ammo. You lose ammo twice as fast. What kind of question is that?
Oh my goodness. We're way off track.
A little bit. No one dying in this game. And I don't think you have to double tap on dying either, because if he's dead, he's dead. Over towards mid, Thunder God's Wrath onto Danelie. Will get that kill. Here comes J4, perhaps a little bit too late. Only has level 1 Maledict. Black Hole would be nice if he had some sort of follow-up, but he doesn't. And the follow-up's actually on Vega's side. Fissure a little bit out of range, though, to catch J4. And because of that, the Enigma will get away. But Zeus crushing Danelie in mid. And one more Fissure onto J4. Not quite going to do it. No one, unfortunately, without that ultimate. But it's still 5-3 in favor of Vega. Lina now 2-2-1. No one is 2-1-1. And Phantom Lancer, though his farm has slowed down a little bit, he has picked up the Mask of Madness, so he is going to be playing the exact same Lancer as last game.
Oh, wow. Alright, so let's see how this works for Vega. We'll see if they can actually create space with the current heroes that they have. They do have a lot of potential to create space, but actually Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage. Maledict as well as a Death Ward was deployed, but Cheshire Cat gonna play safe. He popped a salve just to make sure that he doesn't die to those last 2 ticks, and he will survive. He has Tranquil Boot, so he will regen eventually. J4, though, he's sitting in the trees. He had an appendicitis there farming for a while, but he just hid in the trees, regened a little bit, and then he's going to head back into that jungle to finish up that mech. He's actually pretty close. He's got the buckler, he's got the headdress recipe, and he just needs a little bit more for the mech recipe, and at least Power Rangers will have an advantage in that mech, because Vega, they don't really have any heroes to really benefit from making a mech as a core item.
Witch Doctor would love to have it, of course, but the odds of him getting that very, very slim. So most likely Vega will not be working with mech. Thunder God's Wrath going to spot out the smoke that's heading towards bottom lane, and Quay is going to be saved because of it. Even Phantom Lancer probably going to pull back. Maybe not. He has illusions that could potentially scout this out, but here we go. Here comes Cheshire Cat, as well as Shots, though. They're going to run into Bashu. Will they realize that the real one is here? They definitely will. However, he's doppelgang clear across the trees. Now the Fissure. I don't know if that's a complete block. It looks like it will, actually. Cheshire Cat and Shacho now going to hit with the Maledict and Cask both. There's no real follow-up until Mag shows up. Here comes the first appearance of the Night Stalker. They'll kill off the Lina in a hurry. Now chasing forward for Cheshire Cat. He doesn't really have much of an escape here either, as that Maledict should be lethal. It's not quite going to be lethal, but with the Lance, sure as hell will. Bashu draws a double, and Vega reinforce and then some. Night Stalker also has that additional point in darkness. I believe it's natural daytime right now, but Mag hasn't really done anything this game. It's about time he starts. They're going to open up to Jotum down towards bottom. No favorable cask bounces, but it doesn't matter because Jotum is in lethal range anyway. They'll swap back Quay and try to get a kill here, but Mag is going to put a stop to all this. One more punch, or 2 more punches rather, with the Vengeful Spirit will get that kill. They do lose their Witch Doctor, but it's fine because the Night Stalker is the one to claim that kill. And now they also see J4 on the bottom lane. They will fall back for now, seeing as though the darkness has faded. Both Thunder God's Wrath coming in just 13 seconds, and with the natural darkness coming very shortly as well. It's going to be Vega looking to apply the heavy pressure once again, and very shortly at that.
Yeah, so let's take a look at our graphs really quickly. It's 10 minutes, but we're going to see who's actually in the lead for the moment. So EXP-wise, we're going to have Vega leading by 3k, and well, it's pretty much deserved. They're ahead by 4 kills. Gold-wise, they're leading by about 3k. It's not too much during the early game, but at least it's something. They're mounting as much of a lead as they can because they do not want to deal with Power Rangers as the game goes later. Because if you compare the heroes, Vega, they don't do too badly in terms of scaling into the late game, but you would rather have some of these heroes inside of Power Rangers. Vengeful Spirit, probably one of the best defensive heroes in the game, and also having some initiation potential with the swap with each point put into it as well. Thunder God's Wrath has been deployed, but I think it's just a scouting Wrath there just to see where everyone is, and well, they should know that everyone on the side of Power Rangers, or 3 heroes anyway, are down the bottom lane. Now, Pashi, I don't know if he scouted Cheshire Cat though. I think he may have, and he just turned around and went back to farming the creeps.
Well, the Phantom Lancer's not really under too much pressure from the Centaur anyway, seeing as though Cheshire Cat is still lacking that Blink Dagger and is very, very far away from grabbing that item as well. So there's really no chance that the Centaur lands anything on Bashu. He's just going to do the exact same thing as last game, farm it up, and really Vega, they're waiting for another 13 seconds. Then it's going to be natural nighttime phase, then Mag is going to be willing to leave Ditchira alone a little bit more in order to get some kills. Ditchira, though, is still farming. His Battle Fury is very quickly incoming, and really no Vega pressure has been applied to this Anti-Mage thus far in this game. But similarly, I suppose Bashu is farming up a storm with his farming item of choice, that Mask of Madness. Where is Mag gonna go now that it is the third actually yeah, it's first 8. Yeah, secondary nighttime phase. Mag is looking at Ditchira though. Witch Doctor here as well. I think they are going to need some cask bounces if they're going to get this kill. I think otherwise they just lack the damage.
Yeah, I think they do. They have actually one earn charge if they want to deploy it though, but actually Ditchira blink out. Nice quick blink, so unfortunately for Vega, Mag wasn't actually nearby. He kind of came around the backside here, and I think he just decided, I'm not going to go around this direction, I'm just going to turn around and come back with the Witch Doctor. I think he considered going out through the backside, but he was afraid. But there is initiation. Cheshire Cat through the Stampede, but they're not going to be able to grab anybody. So Stampede, again, on cooldown for another 85 seconds. PL won't have that available if anything goes wrong or if they want to try and jump in.
And that is going to be pretty sweet for the Night Stalker, knowing that if he goes for a kill, most likely the enemies will not be able to escape. They land a fissure block and to lean down towards bottom, but with no real follow-up there, they'll be forced to let her go. But yeah, Stampede is on cooldown for a minute. And that's a minute where if Mag is to land a Void, most likely that Void will result into a kill, especially if it's on someone as soft as this Lena down towards bottom. She is going to fall back, though she doesn't have any vision. She doesn't know where Mag is. Oh no, she's not actually going to fall back. Mag, I think they saw Lena. She was right on the edge of that obs range, and well, now they definitely see her. So Mag probably can't get a kill on this Lena by himself, although he does have Zeus to back him up. There's the Fear, there's the Void, here's the beatdown. Ready for Thunder God's Wrath? See? Told you.
Kill secure.
Kill stolen. Well done, no one. You did it.
Cheshire Cat was jungling and he's down to 50 HP, so he's just going to kind of hobble back to base there. I think he's got some broken kneecaps because of that Thunder God's Wrath. But up top, though, nice big kill there for Ditchira to get the Witch Doctor. So it's getting him very close. Actually, he has his Battle Fury if he wants to pick it up right now. So Battle Fury complete on Ditchira. He did not play greedy. He went for treads first into the Battle Fury. So in essence, it's actually a pretty decent timing for this Battle Fury as well. So all of a sudden, this Anti-Mage is going to start farming the jungle like a storm.
Right, so Anti-Mage is going to start going off, and well, we've seen Vega already start to get something going with this Night Stalker. He takes down a tier 1 mid lane tower as well. And now Mag is going to rotate down towards bottom. Lena, you remember what happened last time. This time there is no additional nuke from the Zeus. It'll be the Phantom Lancer to help out, if anyone is to help out at all. But Bashu has his hands full with this tower. They will definitely bring this tower down. I don't think it's going to be denied either. Dragon Slave is out. No one's going to claim the Anti-Mage kill up on top. In the meantime, they go for bottom lane. Cheshire Cat dropping very low, very quickly. Doppelgang to dodge the LSA, and that'll be enough damage to kill off the Centaur afterwards. Jotum throwing the Magic Missile a little bit too late. Mag going to run to J4 on the retreat, but he has a Vanguard Power Treads, 11 stick charges. He's just not killable. He will get right back up to full, although Black Hole is going to be deployed. That will probably be enough to kill off Mag, although he's going to turn around, put a little bit of damage into Lena before he does go down. It's also not going to be enough. 2 seconds, Thunder God's Wrath, it's level 2. That's not going to be lethal with the bottling up. I don't know what happened up towards top lane, but Anti-Mage was brought down by, I gotta assume, just a Death Ward and a lucky cask bounce.
There were 3 heroes. I think it was the Earthshaker as well with the fissure setup. So I'm pretty sure they use everything. They use Echo Slam as well. So they commit everything to get the massive kill on the Anti-Mage. And well, it was worth it. Now, down bottom, they committed a Black Hole for a Night Stalker kill. That's a very big investment. So that means that the Black Hole is going to be on cooldown for about 2.5 minutes. So this is telling Vega that this is an opening for them if they want to try and group up and go for a team fight, that Black Hole will not be around. So PR got to be very careful with their movements, got to be very vigilant. They cannot afford to get caught. They need to wait for that black hole to come off cooldown just so that Vega plays a little bit more carefully around that Enigma. Because this Enigma, he's farming very quickly. He's going to go for a BKB as his next item pickup because of the Ogre Club in his inventory. He needs it too because there's always going to be the chance of that Night Stalker just taking him down solo.
Thunder God's Wrath going to be a scouting tool for now. We'll drop a couple of Power Rangers heroes pretty darn low, but they're going to chase forward for more. Mech is going to be popped by the Enigma, lays down the Midnight Pulse. It's level 2, but it's enough to scare Mag away from pursuing up the high ground. Darkness has been used as well, but that's not really going to do that much. So Power Rangers, though they still have the Stampede, Cheshire Cat does not have any farm. He's gotten 800 gold since last I checked, and that's still nowhere close to representing that Blink Dagger. So Centaur Warrunner, just a Stampede right now. In fact, I don't even see him convincingly being able to land a Hoof Stomp on anyone but these slower heroes from Vega. Zeus would be the prime target for the Centaur, but he has a Blink Dagger, and even if he does get stomped, he has a Soul Booster. Bloodstone is very quickly incoming from the Zeus as well, so this is going to be a rough game for Cheshire Cat once again. Looks like he spent all of his good fortune in game 1. Similarly, up towards top lane, Dichira rather. Well, he's going to dodge death for right now, but this combo is certainly lethal enough to kill off an Anti-Mage, especially if Anti-Mage is hanging near some neutrals and gets bounced upon. He's going to be spotted by a word, but they will back off for now.
They do go for a smoke though, so they really want to try and grab a kill in the jungle. No one's in there though, so if they hang around trying to find somebody, they're not going to grab it. They will miss the kill opportunity, but Roshan is being attempted now by Power Rangers, and Vega, they should know about this. They have an observer ward on the high ground. They should have actually been able to clip the vision around here. PL will send an illusion in there, so they do actually know this is happening now. So Pashe is sitting around on the outside. The rest of his team is going to come in. Earthshaker Echo Slam is available. There are little Eidolons in here, so it is going to add to that if he actually decides to come in for the Echo. But it looks like Roshan will definitely be secured by Power Rangers. Who's going to pick it up though? Laguna was secured to Luna secured a kill onto the PL, I believe. Yes, they did get Pashe, and they also got the Witch Doctor. They only lost the Enigma, but PR, they've got to be happy. They got 2 kills, 1 on the carry, 1 on the support, plus an Aegis, and they only lose their Enigma.
Yeah, they didn't even have Black Hole there, which would have guaranteed Power Rangers the fight otherwise. But they get away with the Aegis, and with the surprise burst power of both the AM ultimate as well as that Lina ultimate, PL didn't have a chance to react. He just instantly died. And Vega were a little bit slow incoming. Like, they had the Death Ward there. They didn't have Darkness, however, on the Night Stalker. And it's still a little bit of time until there's going to be Natural Darkness. However, Mag, he's going to find Dichira. If the Silence lands, he's going to get a kill. It's not, though. Dichira is home free, and he still holds on to that Aegis. But Vega, they were unable to actually come in with all of their heroes simply because there was no angle. The Fissure block was going to block Power Rangers into their own jungle, into their own side of the pit, I would say, but that's about all it did. So Power Rangers get a nice little win in that Roshan pit. Can they do anything with this Aegis? They're going to group up for the bottom lane push, maybe try to apply a little bit more pressure towards Pashibashu, but similarly Vega, they're up on top looking for a tower of their own.
Yeah, I actually think the reason they did not want to go into the Roche pit earlier was because that black hole was so close to being off cooldown. They may have been afraid of being caught in a massive black hole. So I think that's the reason why Vega played very carefully. They didn't want to get caught in a potential black hole, but, well, unluckily for them, it wasn't even off cooldown yet, so it didn't really matter at that point. But, well, we are going to have a top tower decimated by Vega Squadron on the top lane, so nice pickup for them. They do know where Dityara is, though, but he's just going to continue on his way to farming whatever he wants to go for. Probably going to be Manda style. It's pretty much a no-brainer on your anti-mage. It's great for... I think you can actually evade the Witch Doctor stun. You should be able to. You should be able to. I think I'm just being silly at this point.
You're invulnerable when you're doing that, so you could evade that. Yeah. You could also split out of the Spirit Lance slow as well as the Night Stalker, I guess both Crippling Fear and Void.
Silence.
So
Yeah.
Manta style getting extra value in this game because you are going to be able to split out of those things. Power Rangers that take a tier 1 tower down towards bottom lane. Thunder God's Wrath is going to be used, and well, they're going to focus down on Centaur. They bring him down immediately. Dichira, now Silence, is going to man-fight it out, knowing that he has his Aegis, and if he dies, not really the worst possibility there. Seema is going to be fighting up against 3 heroes and will very quickly lose his life. With the Aegis on the Anti-Mage, Vega can't afford to continue this fight because their Lancer isn't here, whereas everyone from Power Rangers is, or was rather. Pashibashu, though, he's not just farming away, he's pushing down a tier 2 tower. So for Vega, they get the Aegis, they get the Centaur kill, and they get a tower to boot. Not really a terrible trade for them. In fact, it's a pretty darn good one.
Yeah, definitely, especially when Pache actually gets that mid tower. Unfortunately, he didn't get the last hit on it, so he doesn't actually get the bonus, but still, his team's got to be happy with that nice extra gold income coming their way. Because if you look at Vega's side, they have only lost one T1 tower, and that's their bottom T1 tower. They've got the rest of their towers up, so they've got plenty of map control. They're denying a lot of this gold to Power Rangers, which, if you give this gold to Power Rangers, it would help Centaur quite a bit. But actually, Cheshire Cat somehow gets a Blink Dagger out of the blue, probably because of that Roche Pit fight. So this might be the debut of this Blink Dagger onto no one. No one's going to be surprised if he gets caught.
Well, Blink Dagger on Centaur, as nice as that is, it's a little bit late. And if you look at Seema the Slayer's Earthshaker, he has a Blink Dagger of his own. So Blink for Blink right now in Power Rangers. The Centaur needs to get the Blink earlier, and since he got it late, needs to do so much more with it. They do also have a BKB on the Enigma, so the team fight for Power Rangers looking pretty darn strong right now, but if they get surprised by an Earthshaker Echo Slam with those extra Eidolons there, that could very easily be a team wipe in favor of Vega. They're going to set up for a top lane defense right now. Cass can be thrown first, a couple of Arc Lightnings as well, just holding back Ditchira, who does not have the Aegis, getting quite a few stuns as well from the cast, but they just don't have the proper heroes here right now, so they'll sacrifice that tower. Thunder God's Wrath to see where everyone is. But Earthshaker, so far his Blink Dagger is hidden, and I'm pretty sure he'll try his best to make sure it stays like that until he uses it for an Echo, which might be coming soon. It's natural nighttime right now, and Mag even finds a Haste Rune. It's actually going to be Zeus to grab it. So with 3 heroes smoked up, with the Shaker also in the area, the vision here from Vega is pretty good. Unfortunately, they'll have to go blind into the lane if they actually want to get some kills, because Vega, for some reason, or Power Rangers for some reason, are still up on this top lane, still pushing this one out.
They want to fight though, because they've got a 10-second BKB charge onto J4. They want to fight, they have the advantage with their team fight as well as the items that they've picked up, so they definitely want to fight up against Vega. In all honesty, Vega should not want to fight into this. If anything, they want to try and go for those small skirmishes, do not get caught in that 5-man team fight, and instead, they're not going to make a defense, they're just going to go right after this T3 town. Look how quickly it's actually dropping, so we have the first TP, J4's be the first one to come in, blink forward, and Yule's thrown out onto the Zeus. Can they throw the stun? They will not be able to, but actually Cheshire Cat comes in through the backlines, he does actually finish off no one, so that's already the Zeus down and out for the count. Are they going to continue on going on? They jot him, he's on the low ground. They're not really going to finish him off though, but looks like poor Quay, he will get picked off relatively quickly. Mag is moving very fast. They're not going to be able to catch up to him. Even Ditira, he's not going to be able to catch up to him either. So it looks like this T1 tower in the mid lane, it's going to be secured unless somehow Seema gets an amazing Echo Slam, just kills everybody, but that's not going to happen in a million years. So easy tower for Power Rangers. Great fight for them in all honesty. They defend their T3 tower, they get a kill, and they also get T1.
Yeah, Vega could have made that race a little bit easier for themselves if the Zeus didn't decide to try to intercept the incoming TPs. He blinked straight into a Lina combo, and well, when you do that, well, first of all, you're putting Zeus on the front lines. That's never what you want to do, and then you feed over a couple of easy kills, and you break the positioning of your entire team. So Vega, if they just focused down the tier 3, pretty sure they could have gotten the tier 3 and then gotten out scot-free, but the tier 3, though it is still alive, isn't really strong right now. Should be very easily taken down in the next push, and if no one keeps his positioning much better, which I hope for Vega that he will be able to do, then it's definitely not going to be the same team fight. Power Rangers still hold on to the 10-second BKB charge of the Enigma. They still have the Black Hole, so they can look for a team fight right now. And Vega, looks like they're going to oblige. Here comes the smoke. J4 is going to get Blink Echoed. Lots of damage there, and well, almost the Earthshaker by himself is going to get the kill. Death Ward completely unnecessary, but Enigma is going to die. And they also see someone else. Do they see someone else? Thunder God's Wrath. That wasn't used, so they don't know that there's someone else here. But they will do their best to scout things out, and, well, upon finding no one, they'll just go for this tier 2 tower. So a nice little series of pickups for Vega.
Yeah, lucky for PR, actually, that Cheshire Cat had the invisibility rune. Otherwise, poor Ditira would have been blind there, and he may have been caught out by Vega. So I'm going to call RNGesus there and just say that RNGesus saved Ditira's life there. But they committed everything to grab the kill on the Enigma. He comes online very soon, and if Vega wants to push up high ground, a lot of their big ultimates are on cooldown. So essentially, it's not optimal for them to really push up at the high ground at this point. They need to wait for their ultimates to come off cooldown, or they have to just try and go for a quick, easy, and essentially cheap kill, and then go for a push. Now, Ditira is in the enemy jungle. He's probably not going to get caught. He should have vision of these heroes, so very defensive, just going to blink right to the right-hand side. No one's going to see the death creeps, and he's going to say, Anti-Mage has been here. It's touching my jungle. So they're just going to try and clear out their own
Never let the
jungle.
anti-mage touch your jungle. Not a good idea.
Oh, I'm going to stop doing stuff like that. I need to be a little bit more aware of what I say.
Show us on this map where the anti-mage touch your jungle. But yeah, okay, so anti-mage is gonna get away with that one. He's actually holding on to an ogre club, maybe a BKB, a necessity for him. And up against all this magic damage, you can understand why to a certain extent. You never really want to go for this item as AM, but sometimes you just have to. It's 14 to 11, and Vega, upon getting their cooldowns right now, should actually, it's not really that close to the organic nighttime phase. It's coming, but not too soon. They will have the Aghanim Scepter by the time it will arrive, and also by the time nighttime falls, there will be a Roshan respawn. So Vega, their timings, whether intentionally or not, are going to work out pretty well for them. However, this smoke up for Power Rangers will be revealed by the Thunder God's Wrath, and this should not get much of anything done for Power Rangers.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted smoke there. They would have actually gotten no one if they decided to go up the hill in this direction rather than go around. So bit of a missed kill opportunity from there, but sometimes you just choose the wrong path really, and you don't really get anything out of it. So wasted smoke, but PR, they're just gonna go back to farming. Mag has finished his Aghanim Scepter 2 minutes faster than the average for Night Stalker. So we're just gonna see the hack. Mag is hacking the game at nighttime now. He's got his Ag Stick. Aghanims. I'm not gonna call it Ag Stick. I don't know why I did, but
Ag Stick all the time.
The hack stick, essentially on a Night Stalker. It just gets unobstructed vision. It's just to have vision like that, it's amazing. It's just telling Power Rangers if Mag is alive, don't even bother duking.
And I'm just waiting a little bit for Vega to grab this gem on the Night Stalker. It should be incoming soon as well. They don't need it for anti-heroes, but just getting that map vision, seeing every single observer and sentry on the map is certainly very valuable. They're going to actually shove the anti-mage out of the lane up towards top. Pashibashi, though, is being converged upon, and he does not have any backup. He'll just travel out of there. Anti-mage not going to catch vision to cancel that with his ultimate. So 14-11, and it's going to stay that way for a little while longer. Maybe both teams just going to wait for some BKBs to come up, but really, anti-mage versus Phantom Lancer in the late game, it's not really something I see all that often, simply because Phantom Lancer isn't really picked up all that often, but it really does come down to if Pashibashi is able to make his illusion army. If he does, anti-mage is probably going to be cleaned up. If not, it's a little bit more even, but they're just going to go for a tier 2 tower right now. With this illusion damage, this tower is not going to last long at all. Cheshire Cat is going to get earned up, so no Blink Dagger available for him, and now they're going to just take the tower and back off. Pretty safe from Power Rangers, and the ideal situation for them is they get Roshan, but up against a blinking Enigma, that's probably not a good idea.
It's worth noting that Night Stalker has 66.9% win rate with Aghanim Scepter, so not absolutely high, but a decent sized lead if you have an Ags in general. It's good news for Vega, bad news for Power Rangers.
Oh,
if you think about it though, there's the fight.
Laguna Blade is there. Magic Missile not quite enough, although with the right click from Lena, they will get that kill. Jotum can drop very low. Black Hole looking for opportunity, will only catch Mag, however. That's a very dead Night Stalker, but is it worth all your BKB charges? They're going to chase forward for more. Echo Slam from Seema, going to slow down 2 heroes, but that's about all it does. Pashibashi going to go straight for Lena. We'll get that kill, now chasing forward for J4. Purge him down, he's out of mana as well. J4 most likely going to drop. Digiross still chasing after no one, will commit Sudoku, even though he could have survived for a little while longer. Is going to heal up his allies a little bit more. Pashibashi and Seema looking for another angle to get in, but they won't quite find it. It's a 3-for-3, and all things considered, a very even fight.
Very even, yeah, absolutely. And actually, Cheshire Cat can be played very cheeky, and actually, that was a beautiful ultimate coming up from the bash. Was that a Roche bash?
Oh,
that had to be Roshan
maybe it was
bash.
an enchant.
Maybe it was an enchant totem. It was so close to Roche, I thought it was actually a bash. If it was a bash from Roshan, that would have been the worst RNG coming out from Power Rangers, especially into Dit era.
And that was a pretty ambitious reinitiation there as well. They thought that the Mana Void was going to do a hell of a lot more, but Pashibashi is holding on to quite the mana pool. It's actually pretty hard to burn through your entire mana pool as a Phantom Lancer. You need a lot of Spirit Lances to be thrown. So we had that one, and though it did hit onto 2, it just didn't do enough. They throw away their Anti-Mage, and they're also going to throw away the Aegis because of it. Everyone from Vega back up alive. They only have level 1 in the healing, so Seema's probably going to have to base after this, but having an Aegis is having an Aegis, and especially on the Phantom Lancer, who took no focus in the last fight, granted, but with an Eye of Scotty, he is no easy target. Vega, they actually are in a pretty decent position to just make a straight up push now. Look, actually, Seema is back up to pretty high amounts of HP. Witch Doctor has enough mana to juice up that Shaker, and now we have a high ground push attempt. There is no black hole this time. There is a Stampede, there is a Mana Void up, but Pashibashu is big, and he's gonna suicide for this Aegis, or for this tower with that Aegis if he has a chance to do so. They're gonna see Cheshire Cat first, dropping down very low. Thunder God's Wrath gonna pick him off. Even after having been force staffed out, the burst damage from the Zeus is insane with that Aghanim Scepter. And that is just a giant green light to go for this push. No primary initiator from the Power Rangers side. Enigma is not going to be the one to jump in first. Pashibashu gonna Manta dodge a Laguna Blade. My god, Pashi. Playing out his mind. They're going to chase forward for J4. Pops a BKB, turns around, throws the Night Stalker up into the air. Mag taking quite a bit of damage with the Vanguard. He's no easy kill, and he will get swapped back even into the tier 4s. He's still surviving. Dirty Raw going to jump forward right onto no one, but an Echo Slam's going to slow him down there. Seema doing what he can to buy his team a little bit more space. Here comes Pashu. Ditchy Raw going to get beaten down. He has no buyback, and that is going to be Rax's at the very least for Vega. Two very quick deaths on the Anti-Mage. And also Mag tanking everything from the Power Rangers side. No Black Hole and Vega. They still have this Phantom Lancer alive. He did use Aegis, but that's exactly what it's for. If anyone gets too close to this Lancer, they're very easily going to die. Lena just going to get tagged with the Lance. Look at those illusions just doing the damage. Oh my god, Lena's completely swarmed. She will barely escape from out of that situation. Cheshire Cat going to reach on the back end. Lands a two-man stomp, but there's no follow-up to that one. Pashibashu going to look to jump right back in. Has a Phantom Rush available. Doesn't really want to jump in right now. J4's Enigma is getting his Black Hole back, but the illusions are burning his mana once again. Mag with the Void. Going to go instead towards Jotam. Seema's going to be the one to kill the Enigma in the end. It's still Pashibashu just going to town onto everyone. Gets the kill onto the bench. Mag's still taking damage, but with the stick charges, it looks like he'll survive. Pashibashu reinitiating. Cheshire Cat going to look for the double edge. Won't quite find it though. Gets nuked out of it from the mini stun of Void. They're going to chase forward now for the last hero, Lena, the sole survivor from Power Rangers. Pashibashu still alive. Might get hit with the Laguna Blade. No, not quite. No mana, no cooldown there for the Lena. And they'll lose two sets of Raxes. Pashibashu's still surviving. My god, Vega, they just don't die, do they?
They're so tanky. They're all so tanky, and you also have to keep in mind they've got the healing from the Witch Doctor. There's these constant urn charges being flown around all over the place. It's when Power Rangers used that solo Black Hole down bottom, their intentions were good. They were trying to get lots of heroes with it, but when the one fight happened, Black Hole was on cooldown. Where's a lot of their team fight, especially up against these tanky heroes and Vega? They need to keep them in place. They need to really focus fire them down, but there's just so many tanky heroes. Who do you really focus down? You don't really want to go into Mag because he's not really a primary damage dealer. You can't really focus down the Phantom Lancer because he's super mobile, super elusive. He's so difficult to kill. Plus tanky, plus an Abyssal Blade, which was just picked up. So he's probably not the best target. And your Zeus, he's tanky as well. Even though he typically sits in the back lines, he can pretty much soak up quite a bit of damage himself. So, Power Rangers, they had a good draft. It's just I feel like they just couldn't execute it to really combat Vega. Vega, they've got a very low ultimate cooldown draft. All their spells are always going to be off cooldown. It's never going to have a massive cooldown. This is an issue when you draft a hero like the Enigma where he has a massive teamfight ultimate. If you whiff it and the death timers for both sides are still pretty low, or if there's buybacks that are still available, that essentially renders the hero that you drafted useless, unless they have a refresh orb to refresh for another ultimate, or if they can actually provide utility elsewhere. Enigma, he doesn't really give you too much aside from the Malefist and the Midnight Pulse. Probably the mechanism as well, but aside from that, what does your Enigma really provide?
Well, he didn't really do anything in this game because Pashibashu was under no pressure. I think that was really the flaw. It's not that Enigma was doing poorly. That wasn't exactly it. It was the fact that Enigma wasn't playing as a hero who could actually go around and pressure this Lancer. If you have like a Skywrath Mage Venge, then Pashibashu is going to be under a lot more pressure. You could actually get those kills and make sure that the Phantom Lancer, 35 minutes in the game, doesn't end up with an inventory that looks like this. Enigma can do that, but didn't play in such a way because, well, you get your farm up. That's another way to play Enigma, and that just wasn't the right way to play up against the Phantom Lancer. Pashibashu is closing in on 6 slot right now, and if Vega take a similar fight where they pick off the primary initiator of the Centaur Warrunner, then that issue of having no one good to target isn't going to even be relevant simply because they can't start a fight on their own terms. And, well, Power Rangers are just going to have to wait it out and wait for the Vega side to push towards them. Pashibashi is going to run towards Jadam. Treasure Cat as well. Gets chain stunned a little bit, but there's no damage output right now towards Pashi. He's going to doppelgang right on out of there. Still being chased down. J4 is there with the black hole, but he gets swapped out of it. No, Enigma gets another with black hole. Now Pashibashi gets to man fight. Going to go for Treasure Cat. Anti-Mage is here as well. Manavoid will get that kill. But Pashibashi fights to the bitter end, and he will get his retaliation kill before he goes down. But this is actually pretty good for Vega. Though the Phantom Lancer did die, he'll be back up in 80, and the Enigma ultimate won't be back for another 160, so that's a lot of time where Vega have an opening to go for this last set of Raxes and actually end the game with Mega Creeps.
My goodness, that miscommunication on the side of Power Rangers. I'm going to tell you right now, you would not be able to believe what I actually looked like when I was watching that. My mouth was just hung wide open. I was completely breathless in terms of what I could really say. It's just, that was absolutely tragic for Power Rangers. It was supposed to be a nice easy kill with the black hole, but it made it a little bit more difficult. They do get it in the end, but they lose Cheshire Cat. They had to commit a big ultimate for it. And they're going to lose Jodam as well. He only just wanted to put Observer Wards. He's only a support. Just leave him alone.
Thunder God's Wrath also, by the way, completely unnecessary. Just going to point that out from no one.
Oh, nice pickup there actually onto Dityura, getting the Witch Doctor kill. So they're getting some support kills. They've got to be careful. Echo Slam going to be committed onto Dityura in the middle lane. They're going to get J4 quite easily, and actually Dityura, he's going to actually try and fight up against Earthshaker. Nice big pick off there. Now, there's a haste rune on Nobody, so he's probably going to be the worst hero to really chase after Cheshire Cat. He's just going to make a runaway. He does not want to give away any more T-bone stakes to Vega. They are pretty much too fat at this point, but my goodness, so nice kills from Power Rangers, but they need a lot more going in their way to really stay relevant in the game. They do actually spot Cheshire, so he might be turned into a T-bone steak after all. Blink out, he's got 4 stuff used already, so he will get out. Butterfly picked up onto Dityura, no buyback on him. He's just saying go all out or go home. This is pretty much CIS Dota, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And at this point, when your 2 racks is down, it's nice to say for buyback, but if you're not even able to man fight the enemy core carry, and that's Pashibashi, who's pretty much 6-slotted, then there's no point in buying out since you'll buy back and simply die again. So you might as well just go for the all-in, go for the Hail Mary, and then just hope to God that it works. But it's still a 45-second window where Vega are going to be able to push without worrying about the Enigma dropping a black hole. It looks like that, based off of their positioning, they won't really go for that push in 45 seconds, but that's fine again for Vega, because Pashibashi, though he is very farmed, isn't completely 6-slotted just yet. Mask of Madness is something you want to replace up against the Anti-Mage now with the Butterfly, possibly MKB, possibly a Butterfly for the PL himself, and also Diffusal can get a level 2 upgrade. But really, they're just wanting to get this Aegis right now, so that even if they do get hit with a massive Enigma ultimate, Pashibashi will just come right back. He's going to go straight for Dityura. The mana's being burned, and the bashing is there. Dityura will Manta Split and get out of there. Thunder God's Wrath, it's actually just recently used, so they don't get the kill on the Anti-Mage. But that's fine, because Pashibashi just flexing his muscles, and Anti-Mage is going to know that, okay, I can't really afford to man fight the PL, because PL is a basher, and I don't.
Yeah, well, PL did initiate onto Dityura to begin with, so it's pretty difficult for him to really fight back in general, just because of the bash chances. But there's still some fighting chance in PR. Can they come back? Vega would have to just absolutely throw the game. And when I mean throw the game, just go all out, buy items, don't have any buyback, lose their entire draft, and have Power Rangers just going straight through as well.
Right now, J4 looking for a black hole, gets stunned out of it, pops the BKB, still looking for that angle. Pashibashi with no one, caught in the black hole with Dityura there to offer the damage. They kill out the Phantom Lancer, and they also will get hit with an Echo Slam. There's a Death Ward from the back end as well. Gets interrupted by the Yule Scepter, but PL and Zeus immediately going to buy back. Quake can take quite a bit of damage from that Laguna Blade. Dityura stuck in the corner right now, stunned up as well, but they just can't get enough damage onto him. With the Abyssal arriving for Bashu, they will kill off the Anti-Mage. Now go towards Jadam, and no one's going to clean up the Lina. That's a complete team wipe. It's a 3 for 5. But Power Rangers, most of their heroes have buybacks, and they're going to have to use it because Megas are going to be soon incoming. However, if Vega lose their Phantom Lancer again, that can very well be Raxes in favor of Power Rangers, but the only reason they got the Phantom Lancer kill in the first place was because they spent the black hole. They're going to miss Fortify on the tier 3. Now they're going to have to go in with just 3 heroes and hope for the best. Blink in from Ditchy Thunder God's about to start things off as the Phantom Lancer dives deep. Going for shots though with the Diffusal Blade charge, plus no one jumping forward. Lina will instantly die back and will be brought down. Ditchy still chasing after Mag. Has no basher actually, that was a Malefice. But Mag dropping pretty low, not low enough though. It's J4 to drop a lot lower, a lot faster. They'll get that kill. Now going towards Ditchy, blink forward for a stun. Seema's going to clean up that kill. Cheshire Cat respawning to realize that he is not going to be able to fight any of these heroes. And Vega, they will win game number 3. 40 minutes in, Pashibashi going to take a victory bath in the enemy fountain. But man, Phantom Lancer, he's a pretty good late game hero, I think.
He's a great late game hero, but he had just had so much space during the early game, and he just really utilized it. His team did so well, just kept Power Rangers busy, kept getting those kills in the anti-mage as well, and all of a sudden your PL is just going to be literally rolling in money. So, well, Vega Squadron, congratulations on winning this best of 3 series. Power Rangers, they had a extremely good start in game 1. You looked at game 1 and you think that they would powerhouse through this series and maybe even make it a 2-0 to Vega Squadron, but no, they lose game 2, and I feel like they just kind of lost it as a team in game 3. They didn't really synergize too well with each other. They didn't really stack the jungle for the Centaur. Yes, they're running an Enigma, but I think they still have to have that backup stack for the Centaur so that Cheshire Cat would have had the Blink Dagger earlier and maybe been able to rotate a little bit sooner for his team. He was very much struggling trying to use the Stampede just to try and go for those hoof stomps, because a lot of the times you see the Centaur by that point, you have plenty of time to really run away and get far enough from that Centaur to even have the hoof stomp connect. So, oh, Power Rangers. Very, very hard game. Very hard series.
So, Join Dota removed their bracket thing for some reason, so I can't fully update you guys on what the standings are. I'm pretty sure this was a lower bracket game, so Vega have a couple more games to play until they have a chance of getting to Division 1, and Power Rangers should be in Division 2 now, although I'm not completely sure on that. But either way, Vega Squadron going to take the best of 3 2-1, and in a well, I guess not quite as dominating as their previous victory, but still pretty darn convincing. That's going to be it for us today, guys. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Danelie. Be sure to hit the follow button if you enjoyed the cast. Also follow us on Twitter at Mikelorus, at Danelie. It's all in the title. Big thanks to Petty, who's been working the stats for you guys, letting us know that it's a record-breaking, actually, run on Pashibashu's Lancer for this patch. So congratulations to Pashibashu and Vega Squadron in general. And that is going to be it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.